is indeed a disturbing universe.
Hello, greetings, and welcome. Welcome to the Stereo 999 YouTube channel. I am your host, the artist formerly known as Stereo Steve. This week, I would like to talk to you about my top 5 exploitation psychedelic albums. In case you don't know the hip record collector jargon, an exploitation psych record is a psychedelic record by a band that does not really exist. It's actually a bunch of studio musicians, and they just made a record to make a piece of plastic to sell. And these are my top 5. Number 5, and I'm not sure this counts because this is kind of a different genre. This is krautrock, not necessarily psych rock, kind of ambient. This group is called the Cosmic Jokers. And the reason I consider this an exploitation record is that none of the participants knew that they were in this band. Basically, the producer, I forgot the name of the producer, but he had these parties where he would invite some major musicians like Klaus Schultz, like Manuel Gottsching from Ashra Temple. He'd invite these guys to jam sessions, get them high, and turn on the tape machines, and then he would release albums by the Cosmic Jokers. The story is that guitarist Manuel Gottsching was in a record store and heard this playing and was like, oh, this is good. Who is this? And then it turned out to be him, unbeknownst. So yeah, number 5, the Cosmic Jokers. Okay. Number 4, this is the Zigzag People Take Bubblegum Music Underground. And it's on the Decca label. And these guys are using the template of bubblegum rock, but taking these same songs and kind of slowing them down, jamming on them, turning them into more psychedelic jams than little pieces of sugar to suck on when they come out of the speaker of your AM radio. It's a neat record. It's a neat record. Okay. Number 3. This is Supreme Psychedelic Underground by the Hell Preachers Incorporated, which was released on the German Europa label. And the thing about this record was, among record collector circles, there had been a rumor that Richie Blackmore plays on this thing, which turned out to be debunked. The evidence for the rumor is that the song that opens and closes this album, Time Race 1 and Time Race 2, is kind of a ripoff of Wring That Neck by Deep Purple. But there's some really interesting, really odd stuff on this record, especially the song Spy in Space, which has to be heard to be believed. But yeah, Hell Preachers. So yeah, actually a bunch of German cats, not Richie Blackmore. This record, on the other hand, this is Tanyet by the Seeleib People. I think I spelled that right. It's spelled Ceyleib. Seeleib. The Seeleib People with Tanyet. Very trippy cover. It's got its own kind of language and mythology about it. It's a short and trippy album. And what it actually is Ry Cooder and a sitar player trading trading back and forth, trading slide guitar jams with sitar jams. And this is a nice one. If you like Ry Cooder's playing on Captain Beefheart's Safe as Milk, if you like movie soundtrack sounding instrumental stuff with a lot of different changes, this is a good one. Okay, number one, my number one exploitation psych record is a tie, sort of. All right, number one, The Animated Egg. And this is an original German pressing on the Europa label. The American pressings were on the Alscher label, same as 101 Strings, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, The Animated Egg is, of course, the Jimmy Page of exploitation records. Jerry Cole played on many a Wrecking Crew jam, and he is playing some good stuff. He's walking the tightrope between surf music and psych, and falls off into psych by the time we're about halfway through the second side of this record. And it's just groovy music. It's like if you're watching some old 60s movie and the band, there's a, say you're watching some old 60s movie and there's like a bar where the bad guys hang out. This is the kind of music that would be playing in those scenes. And I tie it with Astro Sounds by the 101 Strings Orchestra, because these are actually both the same album. 101 Strings Astro Sounds is the Animated Egg with strings overdubbed. So yeah, those are my top 5 exploitation psych records. All right.
Oh no, you can't leave yet. You gotta have a nice cup of tea with me.
All right, it's time for another edition of Compact Disc Corner, where I talk about the compact discs in the corner. That's right, they're sitting there, and I'm uploading them into a computer so I can listen to them in a more convenient manner. And as I do that, I want to talk about them because there's some good albums. All right, start out with Tom Waits' Real Gone. I don't know if you can see it on here, but it's a nice kind of textured cover with a lot of gatefolds and a booklet. This album is from 2004. And yeah, I like the Tom Waits albums from the 2000s because he really is as old as he was always trying to sound. On the opposite side, this is Tom Waits' The Early Years, which is actually on the Bizarre Straight label, released in 91. This is some of the first stuff that he ever recorded in 1971. So yeah, literally, this is the earliest Tom Waits recordings. A little more folky, just as creative in the lyric department. A lot of fun. And I think this cat played with Tom Waits, local guy, Ralph Carney. This is his band, Carnyball Johnson. Yeah, rest in peace, Ralph Carney. I met him when I was doing radio. He's a very cool guy. If you're a fan of BoJack Horseman, he's playing the saxophone on the theme song. But anyway, so this is a little group that he put together in 2006. Does some nice versions of Willie the Pimp and Cherry Pink and Cherry Pink and Asshole Blossom White. No, Cherry Pink and Apple Blossom White. And yeah, some good jazzy improvisations here. Okay. This was a score because I found this in a bargain bin. This is Cheap Trick Music for Hangovers. And this is live recordings from a series of shows they did in late April, early May 1998. And that was around the same time the remastered reissues of their first few albums came out. And they were performing their early material. And they were killing it. And it came with a free guitar pick. How cool is that? Yeah. Another Cheap Trick thing that I grabbed was the authorized greatest hits on CD. And this is 16 tracks from the beginning, from their first album up until about the year 2000, when they did the theme for that 70s show. Yeah. In the Street by Big Star. Okay, here's a band that I don't see anybody ever talk about. They are called Cruel Frederick, and they are on the SST label, This came out in 1991. We Are the Music We Play by Cruel Frederick. And they are a very serious free jazz ensemble. They start out with a cover of Monk's Little Rudy Tooty. And these guys are legit. You can hear the Albert Ayler influence. They're not afraid to just go nuts. And they made 2 albums. And I think this is the second one. I have the other one on vinyl, which is called Birth of the Cruel. But yeah, check out Cruel Frederick. Okay. Ike and Tina Turner, Mr. and Mrs. Soul. And this is a very solid collection of the early rockin' Ike and Tina Turner material. River Deep, Mountain High, Nutbush, Come Together, Want to Take You Higher. It's going to work out fine. I mean, 21 tracks, all killer, no filler, from Ike and Tina. And few states got the message. Legalize it. Peter Tosh. And this is the collector's choice. This is like the first time it was released on CD, like in the late 80s. And kind of no frills. It's just a disc. And extensive liner notes written in invisible ink. And I can see myself. There's my bald head. All right. Okay. Bob Dylan, Hard Rain. This is a live album from the 1975 Rolling Thunder tour. And this is great because this is pissed off Bob on fire, just tearing through these songs. You know, and it concludes with a 10-minute long version of Idiot Wind and begins with Maggie's Farm. So, what more do you need to know? This is a good companion to the live 1975 because it's the same tour but kind of near the end of it. All right. This is a band I discovered through Spotify. Obscure 1970 album by a band called Jacob's Creek. I was kind of surprised to find this CD, but they're from Trenton, New Jersey, and they featured the brothers Lon and Derek Van Eaton. Lon and Derek duo. They made a couple of albums, one of them for the Beatles Apple Records label. And you know, I tried to get into Lon and Derek's music, but I dig this Jacob's Creek. This is just some nice good time hippie music, melodic, harmonious, acid-tinged rural rock, it says in the liner notes. Okay then, that's my video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.